Good evening, everyone. Welcome to this session. To be honest, I wasn't expecting so many people. Um, there's some really good talks going around at the same time. Appreciate you coming to this one. So today we'll be discussing a Jetpack Compose with Android TalkBack, which is from Android Accessibility Suite. Before we dive in, let me quickly go through and introduce myself. So I'm Sachin Sapkale. I've been developing mobile apps past 11 years. I've worked on very apps from sports app to medical app, educational apps. And past 5 years, I'm into fintech space. I've been developing financial apps consumed by over 10 billion users. I like to talk about mobile because mobile has become a most important part of our lives, and in Android specifically because um, Android past 15 years, it has evolved a lot, and the experience from building an app to publishing it on a Play Store has changed dramatically. Um, Currently, I'm working as a senior software engineer at a company called New Day. It's a company which provides credit products to our consumers in the UK, such as credit cards, credit line, buy now, pay later. I primarily work with a team. We support 16 white label apps. These are some of our brands and some of our partner apps, which we provide our services to. Our company's purpose is to help people moving forward with credit, so that ensures our products are accessible by everyone, and also that includes people with special needs. So let me give you a background. When smartphones were relatively new, people with vision impairments had a tough time accessing that. So in 2009, iOS dropped something called VoiceOver, and Android followed up with TalkBack. So this has been a game changer. People with vision impairments can actually use their phone on a daily basis and do things like texting and reading news. So it has evolved from a nice-to-have feature to an essential part of your app. Simple basics. TalkBack is a screen reader which helps the vision impairment people to read the UI component on their phone and navigate on the device. A lot of people might know Jetpack Compose is a model toolkit used by Android developers to develop native UI. This is how you write a composable screen and preview it. Semantics is a feature. In simple words, is a feature which makes the UI content on your app more meaningful for the services such as TalkBack or the testing framework. So let's take an example. This is welcome to droidcon. A developer will write a code with something like this, and it's called a composition tree, which has a list of composables in it. Parallelly, when this UI is rendered, there is something called a map is generated under the hood, and it's more useful for accessibility services and testing frameworks. It's called a semantic tree. So let's dive into some TalkBack examples. I have a pretty weird card transaction. I made a purchase of £49 and 99 pence of Spooky Wares, and I've got a refund of £75 from Wicked Wares. So I do exercise. Whenever I play with TalkBack, I enable TalkBack on the simulator or device and close my eyes and just see the experience, just check the experience, how it is.
October 31st, 2024. In list, Spooky Wares. Plus £49 and 99 pence. Wicked Wares. Minus £75.
So this wasn't hard to understand. It is okay because the UI is simple. The information on the screen is minimum. It works. But let's put some more details, information on this item. I've added a type of transaction. It's a debit or a credit. I've added a timestamp. Also, I've added a status of the transaction, whether it's successful or a pending, and a small text which offers a place for some a convert your transaction to installment plans, easy EMIs. Let's check the experience now.
Debit. 10:15 a.m. Capital S. Spooky wears. Plus 49 pounds and 99 pence. Costume.
Not so helpful. It only read the default semantics and the experience is just baseline. So I see primarily two issues here. One is the number of elements the user has to navigate to go to the next item in the list. And the second is the information is scattered everywhere. So how do we approach these difficulties? The first, we can use something called semantics and pass a property called merge descendants to. So what it's going to do, it's going to consider the entire row into one and speak out or read out the default semantics of them. So let's check the experience.
Debit. 10:15 a.m. Capital S. Spooky wears. Costume. Plus 49 pounds and 99 pence. Successful. Payment plan available check mark. Double tap to activate.
So now we definitely solve one problem. The row is considered as a one single element, so the user doesn't have to swipe 8 number of times to go to the next item in the list. You just have to swipe once and that's it. But still, the information of scattered information exists. There is no order to this information. So modern design needs modern techniques to make things simple. How do we do that? We take a string, a sentence, and we add the values in the sentence based on a data model or data class. For example, if you say this string, it has something called payment type, which is going to be changed on real time based on the type of debit or credit transaction. The amount is going to be replaced by the amount you see on the screen. How do we use this template? We use a property called clear and set semantics. What it's going to do is going to clear all the default semantics of this row. It's going to replace our custom made template with the content description. That's part one. But part two is I've also added something called on-click label, which gives the user more information. What's going to happen if you double click on this. I mean, double tap to activate what doesn't make sense. So let's hear the experience now.
You spent 49 pounds and 99 pence on October 31st at 10:15 a.m. at Spooky Wares for costume. The transaction is successful and eligible for a payment plan. Double tap to view more details. You received a refund of 75 pounds on October 31st at 2 p.m. from Wicked Wares for costume. Double tap to view more details.
Now this was really easy to understand. I mean, it was like a person is talking to you and giving information on your transaction. So we definitely address both the issues. And this way we can give user a more refined and enhanced TalkBack experience. So the next part would be testing. How do you test it? The very basic, which I cannot recommend anymore, is manual testing. Give an app to a QA, enable TalkBack, and ask them to play with the app, find the pain points, and just feed us with the information. Or you can provide an app to a small circle and get the feedback on the TalkBack experience. The third one is automated testing. It's completely optional. You can use the accessibility checks. It's a library you can add for the UI testing. And also you can write some composable test asserting the content description, or you can assert the labels as well using semantic matcher. Now, the best practice I would recommend is group the related elements into one. So you see that the image, the heart and light, it provides similar kind of information, so it's better to merge them into one and get rid of the decorative labels. The second one would be add roles and click labels to the custom-made buttons. For example, if you have to write a custom-made checkbox or a button, make sure you add some role to it because it's easier for TalkBack to understand that this is a button. And also, please add some click labels so that the user of the TalkBack gonna understand like what will happen if I click on this. The last one would be clear and set semantics. This is something as per the documentation as well. It's been suggested that you can use this property to give user a more polished TalkBack experience. So a lot of things can go wrong. Things to avoid: over engineering. Definitely, this text view says "Hello World" and the content description also says the same. So it's completely it's you can avoid this. Second would be the button has been assigned a role button again. So some of the UI components like button, checkbox, text, they come with their own default semantics. Make sure if you want to override them, it's meaningful. You don't want to add redundant role to the components. On the right hand side, you can see the button has been assigned a different role. It's an incorrect role, like a checkbox. You don't want to confuse your user. Having a long content description, so this can also add to a degraded experience. For example, as a simple UI as a button doesn't need like a long sentence of content description. It could be a smaller one. Complicated hierarchy. If you see this example, the parent column has been assigned a semantic which says merge descendant true, and with a content description. So what it's going to do is going to read out the content description first, the entire long sentence, and after that it's going to read out the UI elements within that column. So that's again adds to the degraded experience of TalkBack. And the last thing you want to do is providing correct information to TalkBack user. So please use the semantics responsibly. To summarize what we have done, we have made complex UI accessible by adding click labels and content description to it. We also simplified UI elements by adding custom template, discussed the method of testing, and how to coincide semantics. I'm pretty sure we have some time for Q&A. If any questions. Yes, please.
Yeah, hi. Thank you for the talk. I've been working on accessibility and TalkBack feature, and when I used clear insight semantics, it actually displays our artifact, such as previous semantics or technically action, for example. Did you get the same issues? How did you
So clear inset semantics are, to be honest, should be used on those journeys which are quite complex for the TalkBack user, or else your UI should be as simple as it should be. So if I want to write a UI test around it, I will write the UI test with using the content description of the clear semantics and not with the UI elements, because that clear semantic itself says that I don't need this information, the default information of the UI. I'm going to set my own. So I'm going to use that and write my UI test around it. Yes, please.
You mentioned roles, and you mentioned buttons as well. Like under the hood button is actually just a surface with a role button, and or this is semantic role. And I noticed sometimes when you try to make your custom UI elements and you add roles to them, TalkBack doesn't really pick them up, and you just get like button name, and you don't get the double tap to activate. Is there ways around this? Maybe like the clickable semantic thing that you've added, or I just noticed this is broken across TalkBack versions, Android versions, composed versions. I'm not sure if it's a Node issue.
I'm pretty sure that's a Node issue, but to be honest, I haven't faced that thing where you have button.
Yeah.
So if your custom UI involves a button, like a button component, I think you should replace it with something more simpler, like a box or a surface. Box or a row, because overriding the default semantic properties it's not recommended at all. So I'm not sure if I have answered your question.
It's more like if you have a surface, you create your own button composed, right? With a clickable action, and you assign it a role button, and you completely ignore that. And if you look at how it's actually written, the button is exactly the same code, and it's still like figure it maybe some internals that are like a bit messed up, and if there's ways around that.
I'm not sure how do I respond to that, but yeah, I haven't tried that. Sorry, I'll check. Any other questions, please? Yes, ma'am.
More than a question is just for awareness. So the clear and set semantics
Yes.
So if you are using any automation tool, typical cross-platform like Appium or something, you have to set the resource ID in the semantics. So
Yeah.
if you do the clear and set semantics, this resource ID is gone.
Yes.
So for those instances, you have to do some walk around to embed the content in a box, make the sentence, and then at the column.
Yeah.
So it won't print any single item inside the column while keeping all the IDs. So
Yes.
it's just for awareness because some big organizations are unconscious they are using those tools to just write the automation tools for Android, iOS, and even for web. So I feel like this is a bit of information.
Yeah. Definitely, automating this stuff is could be hard, but definitely that's why I always recommend manual testing for such stuff. It's the easiest way and the most effective way. Thank you for the information, by the way. Any other? Yes, please.
I have a question about the order of the elements on the page. Usually struggle with it when we have the navigation elements like the back button on the top or the navigation tab on the bottom or the tab button that appears somewhere in the middle. We just use the reversal index for that, but I was wondering if there was some nice solution for this, if you worked with that.
So semantics does has something called order to and order index, which you can use to order your elements on the UI. For example,
Are there like best practices for what should be the order for this navigation?
the default order, it should be from top to bottom. But if you like to change, I don't think so. You have, apart from semantics order index, I don't think so. You have anything else. I'm not sure if you have anything else. Sorry.
Something else we've also struggled with was having like rich text, for instance, like semantical strings that have like URLs or buttons inside them. And I feel that's also very broken because you can actually, depending on how many lines it has, you can either select the first, the last, or none of the items when you double tap on them. And is there a way to actually kind of go around that?
The easiest way would be changing the content description. For example, if I have something called Google www.google.com, I would change the semantic property like description of that to something meaningful, like tap here to go to Google's web browser or maybe external app. So something coincides and instead of using the default semantic of that text. So it's easier. So the idea behind this changing the semantic is you want to give the user what you see on the app. It's like it's not you want to complicate things for him. It's going to give him more information. What will happen if you click on it? What is the text? Is this a like button with a heart? So you don't want the user to have a heart, read the heart icon and the light as well. So if it says it's a website, a Google website, you just have to replace the content description on it.
They say within the same text you have two URLs.
Maybe I have two text for that. Two text for that. It's just how you break your UI into it. So yeah. Any other? Okay, thank you for listening to me. Have a great evening.